want to say is welcome. Coco and I are super excited to have you all here. I want to start off by just saying what makes our training different from most trainings.
Purpose of teacher training is for people to get a deeper understanding of yoga, to learn how to be incredible teachers, to learn how to teach people without injuring them, and to learn more about the philosophy of yoga and the real depth, deeper parts of yoga.
It's a basic yoga teacher certification, and it's not from Dorian and me. This time the teacher training we do, it's actually certified by American Yoga Alliance, a huge organization.
They're going to learn 138 poses, and within these 138 poses that they learn, they're learning about the benefits of the pose, they're learning how to adjust in the pose and how to deal with people with injuries in the pose or stiff people.
Now exhale, reach your arms up. Feel the difference? It feels like your arms weigh twice as much.
This first week is always interesting because in the first week people learn about tapas and their disciplines, and not everybody gets too excited about having to be a vegetarian for 9 weeks and not being able to have sex for 9 weeks. It's a lot of material, even in these first 2 days. And it's also exciting because they're starting to learn about stuff they never had an understanding about.
I have been doing yoga in the studio for over a year and a half. With this training, they have these rules, and so they set them as tapas. Over the next 9 weeks, we have to make sure that we do not lie, no negative speech, practice being punctual, no eating meat, no alcohol, avoid media, which is to avoid gossip and news, and last of all is sex. So that's kind of the basic rules that we are given for this training. When brought up to my boyfriend, he fully supported the no meat part, but when I brought up no sex, he was a little shocked that that would be one of the rules. Before he left, I must say all rules are broken. Confession.
You can understand the two parts of that because you wanted to first really concentrate the starting and the learning part. You don't want sex life take your energy, vital energy, and your attention to your partner. So only 9 weeks. So you can pour all your energy and attention to the really important learning part of your life. And on the other side again, which I mentioned why we don't eat meat, is also it will make your practice way much effortless and feel way much joy when you practice yoga. I'm a yoga instructor and also Thai yoga massage training leader here. I started teaching from 2006, so I'm not good at math. So almost 10 years, I guess.
I've been doing yoga for almost 38 years now. I started as a young boy at 6 years old, meditating, learning the discipline of sitting still. I've been teaching yoga now for 11 years. I've had a studio, I have 2 studios now. One's been open 5 years, second one's almost 3 years now. We've been very successful in the donation model, which people like, which I feel all yoga should be donation. It should be available for everybody, whether you're rich or poor.
You take class and you leave a donation, and then I also later started to clean there as well at the Kahala location. I'm very honored and blessed to be granted the scholarship because I wouldn't have been able to otherwise do this. So with the scholarship, it really grants me a bigger opportunity to expand from where I was into a new chapter of where I should be going, which is a great kind of feeling, and I'm really thankful and gracious and honored to study under Dorian and Coco.
Yeah, that's good. And then Casey, pay attention to her back foot. See how her toes are turning up? Take her ankle straight. That will help square her hips up.
I turn out everything now.
Yeah.
Feeling pretty good with our group of students learning under Dorian and Coco.
Nice, good adjustment.
Yeah.
After this teacher training, I definitely will be back to school. I'll be also looking to start teaching. I think it's more than just being a yoga teacher, but it's also expanding my knowledge that you can't just get in a regular hour 30 class. There's the lecture, there's all this other side of yoga with your diet, your lifestyle, what you think, and there's so many different variations for every pose, and just really going into depth will help me further my practice, which then will lead to teaching.
Sthiti, spelled S-T-H-I-T-I. What does that mean? Tristi.
Standing
Yes.
upward.
Close. Remember when I was demonstrating?
It's like the salute. So it was the.
No, that's Surya.
We start each class with like a review test. Dorian asked me 5 or 6 questions. I got maybe 3 of them correct. So that really means I need to study.
If someone took this training, how it would help their yoga practice would be it would definitely get them to do things in the correct form, which is huge. I mean, if someone's practicing correctly and doing it with correct form, they're going to be able to practice into their 90s.
So Dorian, when he explains the pose, we first mention the Sanskrit, and then he'll spell it out for us, and then we may do like a demo.
The best instruction I ever got on a handstand was from a teacher in Chicago. Once this guy showed me how to do a handstand this way, it was like a light bulb went off. I was like, whoa, now it's easy, right? Before I was kicking and flailing. So hands on the ground, elbows straight. It's always nice to push into the inner knuckle of the pointer finger and really push down into the hands. One thing I learned is clawing the ground. So when you dig the tips of the fingers in, it creates brake pads so you don't flip over so easy, right? So already there should be clawing happening. Left leg lifts up, and if I'm adjusting, I stay on this side, right, of the leg that's lifting so I can hold it. Remember, never like this so you don't get kicked in the face. So I grab the shin. I'm going to show you the adjust, and then I'm going to show you her on her own. So shoulders go over her wrist, and then I grab this foot, and then she joins the legs together. Remember Coco and I were showing you the one like this, open the legs, squeeze the legs, right? To help them learn how to activate their legs. So you can put your wrist, you can start like this and then turn and then they squeeze. So they have something to squeeze onto. You ball. And this keeps them from falling forward or back. And then you can come down. Now, if she's on her own and she's doing it on her own, I'm just verbally cueing her. Bring the other foot forward, left foot forward, right leg up. So you flex the back foot. Shoulders need to go way, way, way in front of the wrist. And then she just kicks this leg up. See how easy that is for her to get up? Right? When the shoulders go way in front of the wrist? Good. You know, a lot of people I see, they come to our studio because they get injured. And this came up in our training today, like, well, someone told me banana back. And I'm like, it's not banana back in a handstand, right? So if you keep doing something and you're taught by someone to do it the wrong way, eventually that's going to lead to an injury. And I see it happen time and time again. So they come to us for experience so they don't get injured.
So I've been told, like, I've been trying to fight banana back that pose, like it's going to mess up my shoulders if I have banana back.
Okay, I'm glad you're bringing this up. Let's do an experiment right now. Come on. So come into handstand however you want.
I'm going to take a couple tries.
I'll help you out. Good. Okay, so I'm going to do what these teachers told you that you're supposed to do, right? Which is this.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to let go. Okay, now come back up. Squeeze your legs, now drop your ribs a little. Lift your chin up more. Point through your toes.
Oh, yeah.
That should answer your question right there. You're not supposed to be straight up.
I was always told to straighten out too, and I could never hold any sort of anything until you told me to like kind of bow my back.
Right. Now it's different if someone's pushing their butt out, and maybe that's what they're talking about with banana back. Because some people drop the rib cage, but then they push their butt way forward. Amanda, you could be my demo for that, because you kind of do that sometimes.
Because that's how I was always told.
Yeah.
Stick your butt out, stick your butt out, stick your butt out. And now I have to like reroute my...
Okay, so you come up with a handstand. See what she does?
I was always told
See the butt's going forward and down? That you don't want. You want the rib cage down. See the difference?
Oh, yeah.
And now point the toes. Right? And see how much more stable she is? When she dumps into the lower back and pushes the butt down, that's not what you want.
I was never able to hold it even that long.
Yeah.
I was always told to stick my butt out.
Yeah, that's not right.
6 years.
If someone was taking this teacher training and they weren't planning on being a teacher, they would benefit from it because they're learning not only a great deal of yoga philosophy, They're learning the history of yoga, the health benefits. My big thing is just the philosophy and the spiritual side of yoga that they get to learn. What is yoga all about? Yes, it is health in the body, but the main purpose of yoga is the spiritual aspect of yoga, and that's the peace and bliss that's found in meditation.
I kind of stumbled on one of the postures of naming it, and Darian mentioned, he was like, Tristy, you're in scholarship. You should be studying harder than everyone else, which is true.
My teacher used to scold me all the time. Most of the yogis say they would rather be scolded and get whipped into shape to become a better teacher, you know? Like if I didn't care, I would just be like, oh yeah, whatever, Tristy, you're not getting the answers right. But I'm like, no, come on, you gotta study more, you know? The more they train, the more they understand the postures. So it's important for them to do, you know, as much as they can.
My yoga postures are not always correct or accurate. I feel like there's always an adjustment that can be made to make the stretch feel better. I'm also just beyond thankful to really be where I am, and I should be pushing myself. That's what I'm gonna be doing, and it's kind of like a step up, Tristy, because I'm gonna make the most of this.
She wants to learn, which is a great thing for being a teacher. And she's not soft-spoken, she has a good personality. I can tell she has the desire to help people.
I have learned quite a lot about these poses that I was already doing. So now I'm able to do them more precisely. And with each intricate adjustment and variation, I'm given all these options of how to do it better. So I have a lot to work on.
YogaHawaiiMagazine.com is Hawaii's premier publication and online resource for Hawaii's yoga community. You will find published articles written by local yogis, photos by local photographers and models, and so much more. Our online website features real-time upcoming yoga events posted by studios and instructors themselves. You will even find a directory of participating yoga studios and teacher bios. Log on to YogaHawaiiMagazine.com.
Throughout the week, it'll average out to about 5 classes a week that we're required to take. With my studying, I have 50 postures to nail, 60 tomorrow, and for the total of training, it's going to be at the minimum 135.
Everybody is definitely improving a lot. I'm seeing a big improvement. People are studying more. They're taking it more serious. They realize how hard it is and how much discipline's involved, and I think a lot of that has to do with the tapas. She had a hard time doing her first teaching session yesterday.
Alright, hug your elbows in and slowly lower into and then you're gonna push your chest forward, roll to the tops of your feet, chin, thighs lift, chin up, upper dog, and you're gonna come to your toes and like your hips up into downward dog.
I think right now is the point where we're finding the confidence in our voice. It's kind of training us to think on the fly, because in real situations, that's what a yoga instructor will sometimes have to do. There's a part of me that does feel nervous when standing in front of the class, but also another part of me that knows I can do this. And there's also a hidden confidence that I think I'm still trying to nurture to really be like, yes, I have this down. Huge credit and props to all these yoga instructors who continuously teach these hour-long classes, and the more you do it, it's true that you can become better at it, and I think that's what is to come.
Vrishikasana, spelled V-R-S-C-H-I-K asana. Vrishikasana is scorpion.
Sanskrit is an ancient language in India, no longer used. It's used for yoga because a lot of yoga comes from a golden age in India when people were speaking in Sanskrit.
Using Sanskrit, it's energizing feeling emotion. It's the sounds of the vibration to really rising the people's emotion and vibe in the class. That's why oftentimes I'm using that.
It's a way of teaching the class in its original format, which would have been in Sanskrit, but also with English, so people can follow the class. All right, let's taste this Tristy concoction.
Wow, lots of ginger.
So today is the day that we started juicing, and so we're juicing for 3 days. We're not allowed to eat anything that is food, no smoothies, but just juice.
So what we're doing when we're fasting, juice fasting, is we're cleaning out and we're giving the organs a break. It's getting all the waste out. It's always a joy for me to watch everybody do a juice fast. In the beginning, everybody, because of their ego, they freak out. And it's a survival thing too.
I think with juicing, you kind of become a little bit more sensitive to everything. For me, it was kind of like my emotions.
She got really emotional today and yesterday, and it's been tough for her, and I get it. It's tough for anybody.
For the tapas, I feel like I've been doing pretty great. I don't really have that crave to eat meat. One of the tapas is also not having sex. In truthfulness, I broke that tapas.
It's funny, I can always kind of tell the ones that cheat, you know, because after the training's over, someone will say, oh, by the way, I cheated, I ate a hamburger. Or someone will say, oh yeah, me and my significant other had sex, like we didn't even follow that tapas, you know. I mean, I would not even give them their cert if I knew that prior. You know, I'd say, you know, this is a strict training. We do it this way. It's just the way I was trained, and traditionally in India, they follow that. Even in Hawaii, they follow something similar with that with hula dancing. The real strict hula halaus is that you have to fast. You know, they say no sex. It's very similar to yoga. And I always remind them, well, look, man, even hula dancers have to follow the same strict guidelines as you guys.
Part of our tapas is being punctual. I've been early to classes, and I've also walked in late. It's not acceptable to be late.
And she's been late a bunch of times. I said, look, if you're late again, you're gonna get kicked out of the training. I'm very strict about this.
If you're gonna be late to training, how do you expect to be on time to a class if you don't really get that input right now?
It's part of the discipline you need to learn to be a teacher. You know, I think it freaked her out a little when I yelled at her. You'll notice with tapas, at the end of the training, people will permanently renounce certain things in their life. I've had people that were heavy drinkers coming into our trainings before, and they ended the training and they completely quit cold turkey drinking alcohol. I've seen transformations happen, you know, which is really cool. That's how we do it.
Anatomy is an enormous subject. My undergrad degree was in anatomy and physiology, and then I took a master's degree, and it's been ongoing with yoga teachers and with other anatomy experts, and it's a very ongoing process.
So today we learned about anatomy from Richard Girolami.
Richard, who teaches anatomy, is an amazing guy with body work. He does acupuncture, he does like deep body movement.
Even though we're not doctors, it's really great for us as yoga instructors to get this understanding of anatomy. If there is a student who comes in with an injury, the skills that we've been learning is adjust from there, or we can have them do different variations of what postures that we're doing. So there's variations for every posture.
You can do this one also, but make sure the person is okay.
Is that okay? Yeah. So calf muscle's okay, right? This is how we do it.
It don't hurt?
Huh?
It don't hurt?
I distract somebody. Help me.
Yogesh is an Indian master guru.
He basically started Anahata Yoga with Yogananda Andiyapan, and now he's like a traveling teacher. He teaches workshops all over the world.
He's coming to our teacher training to help us with lecture, to help with adjustments, and give his insight on top of our very knowledgeable Dorian and Coco.
We've been doing some mashup classes where I'll teach at night, and then he'll like do 3 poses. It's been a blast.
You always need to be a product that people want. Right? As soon as you become something that nobody wants, you are going to be out of a job.
We had a special guest. Her name is Lehua Wright. She is Dorian's wife, and she taught the business part of yoga today in lecture.
It's important to teach students about business and yoga, because if they don't learn about that and they don't know how things work, they're going to get stuck, a lot of them. Some people just aren't good with business. In the workshop for yoga and business, they basically learn how to market themselves, how their yoga studios work when they get hired, the mistakes, good things to do and the bad things to do in the yoga business. You know, it's a pretty big subject.
Let's just go ahead, come stand up, all the way up, walk to the top of your mat, reach your right hand up, left hand down, walking forward, and going head fold.
Ashton and Scoop are yoga instructors at Power Yoga Hawaii. What really sets them different is that they've come together as a pair to bring acro yoga into this community. They linked us up with partners and really got us like really close with each other.
So it's going to go across the top of the chest, and you start off by walking the feet back. So sitting the arms circle.
We bring an aerial yoga workshop into our teacher training. My wife Lehua teaches it to them. It's great for opening the hips and the back. It really teaches you how to get over fear and going upside down, flipping over, and doing all these poses that you wouldn't do on the mat because you're like in a weightless environment, you know?
You're gonna bring your left foot to meet your right. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, come up. And hands to pranam.
It's way better than before. Think about like how to change your talking habits. Just right now, it's like a couple minutes, and I heard it like so many times. You're gonna, and the whole class an hour. You're gonna. It's gonna be 1,000 times. What do you think it's gonna impact on the students? What's going on?
What is she saying?
I'm really impressed of her encouragement and motivation for herself to take this training. She has a lot more excitement than others.
Now you're gonna look down at your right big toe. You're gonna shift the weight to your right foot and lunge forward. You need to bring your hand back and keep your hand in front. You can bring them to touch. That's better with balance. From here, you can drop your hands down to the mat and then bring your left foot down and forward fold.
Much better.
Much better.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Good job. Big improvement.
Yeah.
Even when I stumble or I kind of freeze up, it's a good learning experience to be corrected when you're wrong.
YogaHawaiiMagazine.com is Hawaii's premier publication and online resource for Hawaii's yoga community. You will find published articles written by local yogis, photos by local photographers and models, and so much more. Our online website features real-time upcoming yoga events posted by studios instructors themselves. You will even find a directory of participating yoga studios and teacher bios. Log on to YogaHawaiiMagazine.com.
Bujanga means what? Yes. We're on a roll now. Come on, Tristy, you got this. How do you say camel in Sanskrit?
Strap.
Yes. For our teacher training, we had first a quiz, asking each individual teacher questions. A lot of it is Sanskrit, how to deal with people with certain injuries, names of postures, why they're beneficial for you. They all did great. And then after we're done quizzing, then they do an 11 pose sequence just to see what they've learned. The 11 pose sequence is just basically, seeing how they put everything together,
Well, I think what they really are looking for us to do is find our own transitions, because we've been taking all these classes from senior instructors over these past 9 weeks, and they want to see us come up with something.
Since the last talking conversation with her, she started to know what she needed to work on. So she put lots of effort on studying. So we threw questions on her. She got most, so which is really good.
I think out of this group, there will be 4 fantastic teachers right off the bat.
We have some really strong practitioners that have undergone this training, and we all had different feelings, and so some that was felt was like peacefulness and inspiration while watching each other, and it's good to get excited for others. My idea of going into it was that everyone's going to do standing postures. So I kind of wanted to really work on the ground, and I kind of chose to base my sequence around like hip opening. So I ended with my peak posture as Padmasana, which is lotus. Darian caught right on to one transition that could be hazardous, which is I'm really glad that he brought it up.
Her sequencing today was a little shaky and not fluid.
She definitely got her passion and the creation, but maybe just I said just too creative, and she kind of like lost it.
She still has a long way to go, but she's gonna, I'm not giving up on her, and hopefully she doesn't give up on herself.
We don't feel you are ready to teach. You have lots of potential, but still has lots room for yourself to understand yourself and the yoga things, knowledge. You'll now be able to receive the certification from this training.
Coco and I were talking about is what we'll probably do is do some kind of extension program. It's not something you'd have to pay money because that's not what we're all about. It's some kind of course we would set up after this training, and you have to pass it. And we feel like you pass it, and number one, most important thing would be showing up on time.
From here to then, it's about proving to them that this is, it's what I want and I'm ready. And it's me saying I'm ready.
Not being on time too many times. That's part of our initial discipline. It's what we spoke about in the beginning is tapas. She just didn't follow the tapas. There was just not every time we do study, she would never get the answers right. And then leading class, getting people on the mat, just like stumbling and not remembering the poses, just not ready yet.
We all have this self-doubt within us, but once we overcome that and work towards steps to be more of what we really are, it's energy diverted into what is possible. That's what I've learned through myself, to stop doubting myself. It's so fun and it's great, and this learning experience has been I'm gonna remember it forever.